second. Can you say something for me quick? That'll work. Okay. Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to the RP Geeks. I'm Sonic Geek. Here's me again as Red Nova.
Yep.
And welcome to a special side video where I will be looking at some of the job quests for the Gladiator job.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I want to look at all the jobs. But...
Talk to Mila here.
Yep. This is going to be more side stuff. What amazing difference a sword can make. Your expression, your posture, you're already brimming with confidence. See if that confidence is warranted, shall we? Yeah, I kind of skipped all the are you actually joining the guild quests. Hopefully that's not too much of a bother.
Nah.
Alright, just outside the gates of Old Isle, you'll find plenty of marmots, hornets, and shrews. Slay 3 of each and return here when finished. Oh, and use your sword, Harris. I'm a gladiator, and I aim to train you as one. Now go.
Yep.
I'm a gladiator.
Standard, this quest is pretty much a standard first quest for every class or job you pick. Well, every class you pick up.
Yep. And as you can see in the bottom right, I've already leveled it up to 15. So it should be a relatively easy thing.
Yeah.
Gate of Nald. Yep. I was working on not Dragoon, Lancer right before you pinged me.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to actually log on or if you were just getting in for recording. Come here, you.
Oh, logging in the game, you mean, or?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I mean, I could, but...
What are you aggroing me for? This is a warm day today.
Yeah, it is. In the 90s.
Yep.
I think you said 96 degrees outside earlier.
Sheesh.
When I got back in the car from where I was at, to get ready to come back, it was 102.
Jesus criminy.
Yeah, obviously the car was outside, so that would be why.
I got myself a new fan. It's like right next to me here. And I have it turned off so that the noise doesn't come in through the microphone. Boing. Snapping shrews. Why is it always... Oh, there we go. I was about to say, why is there never any music when I really need there to be? Alright, snapping shrews.
Yep. Yeah, there's always that one enemy out of 3 of these first class quests that's kind of off to the side somewhere.
Yep.
Usually like right here when you get out of town.
Yep. Alright. And back to the guild.
Yeah, great thing about it is taking on this first quest like this one, along with already having the hunting log, that you get both of those at the same time, doesn't it?
Yep. Into the Gladiators Guild. Sprint. Alright. Welcome back, Harris. I take it you've dispatched the beasts, and with ease. With every swing and thrust, you gain valuable experience. You must remember and reflect on each one if you are to recognize and eliminate the deficiencies in your technique. Your training under me shall continue once the haft sits so snugly in your hand that you cannot imagine holding aught else. Until then. Next.
Quest reaching 5, which is probably already up to 15.
Yep. Alright. I take it you and your sword have become better acquainted, and I will now instruct you on another fundamental aspect of what it means to be a gladiator, commanding an opponent's attention. As gladiators, we are trained to engage enemies at close range, weathering their attacks as we deliver our own. However, there are times when we must do battle alongside allies whose talents are not the same as our own. In such a situation, your role is not to slay the enemy in front of you, but rather to defend the man beside you. Do this by eliciting the enmity of our opponents through attacks and techniques designed to incite their hatred. You must learn to draw the enemy's attention to yourself and to trust in your stout constitution to endure. In so doing, you protect your weaker comrades who would otherwise perish. Bottom line, you have to tank.
Yep.
To help you better understand this, there's a task I would have you perform. It just so happens that Momodi of the Quicksand has requested our assistance. A gang of Lamentin marauders has paraded into town and begun harassing people outside her establishment. Men like these prey on the weak, but will turn tail and flee at the first sign of defiance. You need not resort to violence. It will suffice to show them that you are not afraid of them, and will not tolerate their behavior. Seek out the Lamentins and make your presence known by bellowing, "Face me, marauder!" In this way, you will protect the people of Ul'dah, as you would your allies in battle.
Yep.
Oh boy, another emote quest.
Yay. Hey, knuckleheads to Limsa must got their butts kicked out of there by the Admiral and company, so...
Yep. Came to the wrong neighborhood, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I should have gone to the guild. Thank God the PS5 has such good loading times.
Yep.
Menacing Marauder. Emote.
It's like having those emotes whenever Lev quests come up, it's like...
There we go. What, you blaming me because this little shite shat his own pants? We'll bugger him and bugger you too.
TMI, dude. TMI.
You know, your friend here is a 12 damn cheat. Thinks he can charge us more because we're foreigners. He'll get his own back. Mark me words. Another one up here. The hell's this your problem? Maybe she likes her men rough. What are you supposed to be? Her bleeding manservant? Ah, don't matter. You've gone and spoiled the mood. Yeesh. Some fucking people.
Yeah.
Oi, come on now. He was disrespecting me proud Seawolf heritage. Fine, I'll leave the bastard be, but we ain't finished. Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a shower when we're done here.
Yeah, boy. Unless the blame side thing.
It immediately puts me in the... gives me the cutscene icon. Who the hell do you think you're speaking to, maggot? I'm Farmerl the Driven, and me and me bloody marauders have been reaving so long, mothers scare their children with tales about us. Don't believe me words? Then I'll let me axe do the talking. Oh boy, time for a showdown.
Yay.
Oh, this is lively, even for the quicksand. You two gonna put on a show for us? Oh, that guy.
Himself. The man, the myth, the legend.
What's this? Another goddamned fool? Show some respect when you talk to... Farmerl the Driven, leader of a troop of bloody mummers or some such. I have heard you the first time. Your voice carries quite well. Then unless you want me to split your skull with me axe, you better... That's a fancy-ass sword.
Oh, shit. He realizes who he is.
Yeah.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yes.
That sword.
He fucked up. He fucked up.
It couldn't be. Frenzy? But only the sword of Nald would... Bloody hells, it's you! You know, I've never been one to stand back and watch. Mind if I join the fun? Begging your pardon, sir. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Why do they always do that? Looks like it's just you and me. Standing up to that Lamentin was quite brave of you, and quite foolish. I think I like you, Gladiator. Name's Aldous. I'd buy you a drink, but I'm afraid I just spent the last of my coin. Used to be a young gladiator like you, and then I took an arrow to the knee. Back then but that hardly concerns you. These days I'm just an explorer of the unexplored, a seeker of as yet unknown experiences. Like that beautiful stranger keeping my bed warm right now. Gods, I've missed this city, this wonderful desert jewel of debauchery and sin. Now, if you'll excuse me, I was in Las Vegas. Mamodi. I swear if I hadn't seen all this with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it was him. Everyone here thought he died years ago. Listen, Harris, do me a favor and don't tell Mila about meeting Aldous, alright? He doesn't need this sort of drama. Why? Well, let's just say some folk ain't good for one another. Alright. To the Aetherite. Hey, Miley, you know this guy named Aldous? I've already heard of your exploits at the Quicksand, Harris. You did well to send those marauders packing. Wish I could say we've heard the last of them. Alas, we've received reports of axe-wielding raiders assaulting merchants traveling through Scorpion Crossing. Seems words will not suffice after all. Well, you'd finish what you've begun, Harris. Head to Western Thanalan and see that Farmerl the Driven and all those who have shared in his crimes never trouble the people of Ul'dah again. I said west, right?
Yeah, west, yep.
Yep. Alright. To Horizon. Let's see. Oh, I could have just gone outside, goddammit. Oh boy, time for walking.
Oof. I believe with any luck in the next session we'll finally get that thing unlocked.
What, the mounts?
Yep.
Hard to say, honestly.
Yeah.
Because we're probably going to need a couple episodes just dedicated to Tamtar and Copperbell.
Yeah.
So if not this one, maybe the one... Not this next one, then maybe the one after.
I mean, these three dungeons that we're in right now actually go by pretty fast with the in-between because they kind of go right from one to the other.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that would stop from the next one would be freaking, you know, you have the speeches coming up too that you'd have to sit through and wait through.
Not to mention we still have to do the whole stuff with Ifrit and joining the Grand Companies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
They tore me from my saddle and took everything I own. Bring my goods back to me, I beg of you. Well, that sounds like a me problem. Caravan sack. Yeah.
Curses and sorcery.
Yep. Here's a question for you. What do you think we should do about Palace of the Dead?
Not sure, because I've gotten through to the first 50 floors once with other people, but I'm still kind of marred at the experience after the one me and Turbo had trying to get through there and freaking not succeeding.
I mean, to be fair, we do have 4 of us.
Yeah. Well, that'll definitely make it easier, because
Yeah.
when I did get through the 50 floors, I had 3 other people with me at the time, so.
To be fair, unlocking it would help in the long run. Probably both me and Try, honestly. Good. It is finished. With that, this stage of your training is complete. This time, your enemies were ill-behaved ruffians, but who knows what manner of opponents you will face in the future. Regardless, I have faith that you will do well. Master your sword, and you shall master yourself. Now then, there will be work for you in the days to come. Return to your training, and we will speak again. Let's see. Right. But the only thing I need to upgrade is... Yep. The only thing I need to actually upgrade right now is my weapons. Old Oz most wanted. You look well, Harris. Hope you're ready for your next task, because I require your immediate assistance. Been several violent murders recently, victims of which were all Huron men. Based on the multiple spear wounds found upon the bodies of the deceased, we believe that Lancers are responsible for the crimes. Not only are these murders applied upon our city, I fear it is only a matter of time before one of our own is targeted. I have just received reports of foreign Lancers skulking about in a stone's throw. Considering the circumstances, I find it likely that these are our culprits. Cannot abide any more murders. Go to Stone's Throw outside the Gate of Nald, and speak with any you find in the area. With luck, we may find these Lancers before they strike again.
If I remember right, Stone's Throw is literally just outside the gate.
Yep. Gate of Nald. It's only a stone's throw away. Gutless Gladiator. Don't kill me, please. I'm not the one you want. Appreciate the help, fella. Thank you. Thank you. They appeared out of nowhere, asked me if I was Aldous at Spear Point. I said no, but they attacked me anyway. What did I do to deserve this? Ah, they're looking for Aldous.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Back to the guild. Blip, 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 blip. To the Gladiator Guild. So they were indeed the murderers we sought. But what brought Duskwhite freelancers all the way from the Black Shroud? Why were they murdering Huron men with swords? First sword. What is it? Lancers, first sort. A gang of them, hiding in the tunnel south of Blackbrush Station. Seems we're not rid of them yet. Harris, you may as well finish what you started. Go to Central Thanalan and dispatch the last of these freelancers. Bruce, accompany Harris. See that he doesn't die. Well, I can't keep the bloke from getting skewered, but I'll patch him up best I can. Harris, defend Bruce. He knows powerful healing magics, but he cannot employ them unless you keep all your enemies occupied. Make sure you command their full attention at all times. Got it.
Yep.
Aye, I'm counting on you to keep those bastards away from me. Watch me back and I'll watch yours. You have your orders, gladiators. Send these freelancers to the 7th gate. Okay. Waiting where exactly? Okay.
Yeah, those tunnels.
Yep.
I remember it's the train tracks top path it takes in there that they're hiding out in.
Yep. Sweating so goddamn much. Yay, solo instance. Bruce the Big. Big the Bruce. And here we go! Eyes on me, fuckers. Bastards are actually making me break a sweat. Just quite freelancer captain. Looks like someone pissed in his peas porridge. See if we can speed this up a little. There we go. Duty complete. Yay.
I don't know what you're saying.
Looks like we're done here. Let's head home, Harris. I could use a drink. Bick to the
Sometimes
gill.
this guy and Aldous will get along just fine.
Yeah. Nighttime in Olda. Congratulations on a job well done, Harris. Drew says you've acquitted yourself well. I must say, you have shown tremendous growth since you joined us. I wanted to ask you. Bruce believed the freelancers were out for a bounty. What is your opinion on this? We're tracking a man named Aldous. Aldous? Are you certain that is the name you heard? He's alive? But how? It's like, yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Alright, one more. That old familiar feeling. Gonna get my shield up, yay.
Yep. Because level 15 quests, you get a skill to go along with it.
Woo! Hail, Harris. Come at a good time. I have another task I wish to assign you. The Immortal Flame and the Brass Blades have both requested the Guild's assistance in maintaining security at Camp Drybone, a vital outpost along the Royal Allegan Sunway. The Amalja have been raiding caravans with reckless abandon, creating a significant disruption in trade. Ul'dah has a long troubled history with the Amalja, so raids are not unheard of. However, this recent escalation must be addressed. Go to Camp Drybone and search for these raiders, Harris. I've already dispatched other gladiators to patrol the region, so I suggest you speak with one for more information. Alright, I'm actually going to pause the recording here for a second. I need to take care of a couple things.
Okay.
Alrighty. Camp Drybone. Have I been there?
Yeah.
Don't have it on my thing. Okay.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it was one of the ones I did get when I was off screen. I didn't get Western then, unsurprisingly enough.
Should be able to go in through Central. Okay.
Yep.
To go around the toads.
Yeah, ribbit.
Ribbit. I wonder. Blah, 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 blah.
I saw the bad mount.
Which one?
Quintania.
Oh, yep. Thankfully, the refer a friend thing works for all your characters. Or is applied to all your characters, I should say.
Nice.
Let's see. Got the Fat Cat, the not flying Nimbus, and Cloud's Bike.
Nimbus! Yep,
Yeah.
Cloud Bike also.
Yeah. Funny thing is, they've included a cloud mount that pretty much is the flying Nimbus.
Yeah.
Like it's actually the proper color.
The thing I love about the bike is that it's not restricted to the area mount speed restriction either, so
Nope.
I use it quite a bit.
I would imagine so.
Let's see, Eureka or frickin' Boja.
Yep. Haven't done either of those very much, honestly. Okay.
I did more Boja today, just
Yeah.
get resistance rank up. I got up to like resistance rank 22 today, and then actually got into Caster Lactus Latori once, so I
Nice.
could get more of those items.
Alright.
Because I'm on that quest where you have to get 15 of a certain item, and doing the Castrum each time successfully gets you 5 of them each time you do it.
Nice, nice.
Because otherwise, plan B for that would be grinding Crystal Tower Series 24-man raid dungeon. It's like, yeah, no.
Well, I mean, if you're doing circus, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I don't know if they lowered the 5 at a time for that one or not. They might probably no, so you'd have to grind it a bit more.
Yeah, fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
Alright, Dry Bones attuned.
And I don't know why, but I'm probably a bigger fan of Labyrinth of the Ancients. So.
You know what? I'll take either one over World of Darkness.
Yeah. Especially with a certain eyeball fight in there.
Yeah. Gotta remember, I went in there the other week, and we pretty much had to scrap the run entirely because our party couldn't get past that fight. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, between that eyeball being in there and then being in freaking... Trying to think, was it Eureka Pagos also? Was the notorious monster fate. Ugh.
Alright, Injured Gladiator. Get down, they're still here. Get down. Where's the other one? There you are. Over here, fuckface. There we go. Then bam. Bam. Shield bash, motherfucker. Hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Don't worry, brother. I'll be fine. Though maybe not when the first sword is done with me, eh? Go and tell her that the Amalza are dead. Leave the merchant to me. Back to the guild.
If it was before far enough to the quest, I'm glad he gets some time to decide to add partial of the game. And getting quite a few.
I didn't get most of that.
Yeah, when we get just far enough in the story, thankfully we'll not get those tickets that they added in the game as of recently. Well, maybe.
Oh yeah,
before
the Vesper Bay tickets.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. I'm like, how the hell? I knew I was right to send you, Harris. You've done us proud. 7 hells, this place reeks of sweat. I expect a man to concentrate on his swordplay like this. Da-da-da-da. You remember me. How goes it, brother? Still waving your sword around like a feather duster? Shit. You... Good to see you too, Mila, my dear. You're more beautiful than I remember. You're alive. Where have you been all these years? Answer me. Me? Well, if you must know, I'm on a spiritual journey of self-discovery.
Ha!
Damn it, Aldous, this is serious. We all thought you were dead. For you to walk in here as though nothing ever happened. Have you forgotten how you dishonored us? I should cut you down where you stand. Oh, that's the Mila I remember. All fire and brimstone. I knew that pretty face could still contort itself into some terrifying shapes. Don't pout, girl. I'm just having fun. But as you wish, I'll go. Harris, was it? Why don't you join me at the quicksand? I could use some company. And I doubt anyone else here would be so kind.
Yeah.
That bastard. Why now after all these years? To the quicksand. Nope. Rip. One cool thing about the PS5 controller is that, like, depending on what you're walking on, like, it'll rumble a little bit as you walk.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. It can also change depending on your mount. Like, I know Cloud's bike has some cool rumbling effects. Anyway, this guy wants to fight. That old familiar feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, you came. Sorry you had to witness that little reunion between me and Mila. Sword of Nald, back from the dead. You'd think I'd be greeted by throngs of adoring fans, not threats of violence. Listen, Harris, you're good with a sword. That's plain to see. But more than that, you've got purpose. There's a fire burning within you. As a former man of conviction, I can recognize a kindred spirit. Geralt named her Frenzy. She's one of a magnificent pair of swords that the drunken prodigy forged for Colosseum champions. The man who wielded her twin had eyes that burned like yours. Harris, The hells? Momodi's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Aldous, Sword of Nald, we've come for your head. You do that, then how the hell am I supposed to enjoy my ale? Arrogant fool, prepare to meet your maker.
This is some nameless nobody.
Yeah. Well, ain't you a bunch of impatient, humorless fellas?
Allow just finishes his drink first.
Yep. Up for a bit of fun, Harris. I'll lead, you follow. Defend yourself from the unknown assailants. Probably gotta run the right thing. Show you how a Coliseum champion.
How strong this guy is due to his fate.
Yep.
Cat's pale in comparison to his.
Jumps up on them. Now we're getting into some swashbuckling here. We missed. Oh, we missed a bunch. Holy crap.
And now come the what you get to deal with. Over 15s.
Jesus Christ, where are you attacking? Aye, that's the sort of sport I crave. Now for you two.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's more.
Basically,
Their
just
eyes,
one
Harris, not
shot
there.
fuckers.
Yeah.
Just F.
Nice. Duty complete. Didn't think he'd go so far as to send a gang of sellswords into the quicksand in broad daylight. Why is it never a bevy of beauties? Let's continue this another time, shall we? To find a new place to drink, with more attractive company than this sorry lot.
After those ugly bastards invading the little get together here.
Yeah. Alright. Do the guild. My apologies, Harris. Meant to teach you a new technique earlier, but when that idiot arrived, I completely forgot. It's just so infuriating. Ahem. The shield lob technique will allow you to attack from afar without the need for ranged weaponry. Since we gladiators are primarily close-range fighters, the ability to draw the attention of distant enemies is a valuable asset. May it serve you well in the field, Harris. Yay!
Yep. And you got shield lob. Huh?
Anything I have actually... No. I don't think anything on offer there is better than what I already have.
Nope. Because you got the brand new gear.
Yep. Shield lob.
Any of that.
Woo! And a level up.
Hey.
Yeah. Ooh, we got dude Tamtaro with us now.
Yep.
All right.
In fact, class quests at level 15 and level 30 grant new skills.
Yep. Harris, I'm glad you're here. One of our members has been attacked and gravely wounded, and I need you to go and help him. I suspect this is the work of more bounty hunters. Even be a trap to lure more of us into the open. But alas, we cannot ignore our comrade's plight. Last he contacted us by link pearl, he said he tried to seek shelter at the coffer and coffer. Take this potion and search for him next. Alright. Off to Central Fanolin. Okay, dude should be right over here. If map is anything to go by. I've had a couple drinks right now. I'm about 3 sheets to the wind. Can't feel my... Thank you, brother. It all happened so fast, over by the tracks to the north. I don't know who attacked me, nor why they left me alive, but I dare say the answer is out there. Surely someone saw something. They left you alive to send the message. What message? I don't fucking know. Just a message. Hello outside. I just saw him stumble in when I left the bar to take a piss. Was alone, as I recall. He's wounded? Thought he was a drunk. Eevee. Point of ambush. Suspicious characters? Now that I mention it, I did see a strange fellow wearing a garish purple robe. First I thought he was talking to himself, but then I realized he had a link pearl and say something about the wrong man and the Silver Bazaar. That help? Okay, so he's off to the Silver Bazaar in Western thing. Fantastic. And what do you have to say, friendo? Purple robe? That sounds familiar. It was him, I swear. Find anything else? Mess. Just up by the tracks, eh? Might well have belonged to the bastard. Can't say I've seen his like before. I'd be as Wyman could tell you more. Know him, don't you? The bespectacled bloke who's always lounging around Emerald Avenue in the city. Of course, being the businessman that he is, probably asked to be compensated in exchange. Well, that ring to Wyman. He's sure to know something about it. I know who you're talking about. Let's go speak to Wyman. Hello there, friendo. Well, no, if it ain't Harris, everybody's favorite venture. Here you threw your Paladin with the Gladiator. Questionable decision given the events of recent days. To each his own. To what do I owe the pleasure? Can you tell me more about this? Oh, put that away before someone sees it. When the 7 hells did you get that one of those rings? What, don't you recognize the sigil? Damn fool. Before you go stumbling around in the bush, you ought to at least know what kind of venomous bastards they'll be lurking within. A long time since old seen a criminal organization rise from obscurity to notoriety as quickly as the Elector. Where it is, they've got connections to the Brass Blades, the Syndicate, and God knows who else. Didn't hear that from me. Well, no part of whatever mess you and your mates have gotten yourselves into. Understood? Yes, sir. Back to the Gladiators Guild. I'm back. Oh, Harris, I was just wondering when you might return. What news do you bring of our injured comrade? Attacked by a member of the Elector. The Electorate? I find that hard to believe, but no matter. One of our comrades returned from Stone's Throw moments ago. A gang of bandits is said to be headed for the Silver Bazaar, after a man with an enormous bounty on his head. People living there are in grave danger. Their friends need to find their cord. The bandits won't scruple to destroy property and harm civilians. The few brass blades stationed there will be powerless to stop them. We must stop them, Harris. We'll protect the Silver Bazaar and avenge our injured guildmate, all in one fell swoop. Bit melodramatic, if you ask me. Aldous, told you never to come here again. Didn't sit idly by while you charged into battle against an enemy you know nothing about. Mila, as a responsible guildmaster, would never risk the lives of her charges like this. Who are you to lecture me about responsibility? Mila, listen to me. This is the Alacrin you're dealing with. So, whatever notoriety they may have achieved means nothing to me. We'll cut them down like the common bandits they are. Not that simple. More importantly, it's not your fight. What do you say? They want me, Mila. I've been fending off assassination attempts ever since I returned to Thanon. Stay here and let me handle this. It'll be over soon, I promise. Stay here while you go off on your own. Is that it? It's been 7 years since I let you leave, Aldous. 7 years. Do you have any idea at all what you put me through? Mila, I don't want to hear you selfish bastard. You even care about the people who suffered because of you? Just get out. We don't need your help. We'll settle this ourselves. Mila, wait. There's something you need to know. Enough. Get out. Get out. All right. Say some of that for the Electorate. But do try not to let Harris here come to harm while you're at it. Silver Bazaar in Western Thanon. Actually, I think going to be faster. Fate of the Sultan. That'll work. Whee! To the Silver Bazaar. Oh boy, solo instant. Alright, here we go. There you are, Harris. Everyone's already in position. Are you prepared? Yes. Let's do this. Use your target and finish it. Let's punch that down. Next. Who else is foolish? Oh. We're absolutely a white mage. Whatever. When does he need to go? Yep, on it. And there's a bunch of black thaumaturges. What? There we go. It's particularly strong. Particularly strong. Rejoice, gladiators, for the day is ours. Yay! There was much rejoicing. What? But why would you be? Even do it, first sword. No, stop! Such brittle blade, so easily broken. Perhaps the first sword is made of stronger steel. Leave her, Zana. Our business here is over. What have you done, Leovold? Her sword we must withdraw. Wounded need tending. Let us take them back to the guild. Back to the guild. Give me a moment, Harris. I need to think. I wanted to spare you this, Mila. Begged you not to go. Knew all this. That Leovold had... Leovold and I once thought... Leovold and I once fought side by side in the Colosseum. Twin swords of Novthal, they called us. We lost a match, honored by the bull of Alamigo himself. That was then. This is now. When I learned Leovold single-handedly transformed the Alacran from a gang of common thieves into the most feared criminal organization in Thanalan, I knew I had to return. Seems like a lifetime ago that the three of us used to train together in this hall. Leovold I knew would never stoop so low. Good man, strong and true. What would drive him to do that? If I find him, I'll be sure to act. Fortunately, he seems determined to kill me for my curiosity. What aren't you telling me, Aldous? Not clever enough to keep secrets, my dear. I'm a simple man, only capable of dealing with what's right in front of me. That's so. I'll find him, Mila. I promise. Off he goes. All right. Recording Gladiator Quest level 25 on Holy Ground. Harris, must apologize for my earlier behavior. As first sword, my duty is not only to foster your growth as a gladiator, but to also protect you from dangers you were not yet ready to face. I did not know that Leovold had become the leader of the Electorate. Had he chosen to bear his steel at us, many and more of us would not have returned alive. You should know why he's turned to a life of crime. So I've ordered my best men to scour Thanolin for any trace of his whereabouts. Fortunately, one of them has disappeared. I have strong suspicions that he has been taken prisoner by the Electorate, or worse. If there's any hope of saving him, we must act quickly. Have you searched for our missing comrade? Last report stated that he was tracking the Electorate near the Hammers in western Thanolin. Go there and you may yet find some clues to his fate. I've been far too reckless in recent days. Let too many good gladiators come to harm. Please, Harris, find our missing comrade and bring him home safe. To western Thanolin! The track, brother! All y'all fuckers come in. They're all same enemy. Didn't matter too much who I take out first. Fine swordsmanship, Harris. Mila, the first sword, he certainly knows how to pick it. Yeah. Even after all these years, I can't quite bring myself to call her. Yeah, I still remember when her father first brought her to the guild. We lads who cried at the sight of naked steel. But to look at her now, you swear she was born with a blade in her hand. Like she had much of a choice but to rise to the occasion, though. With all the trouble Aldous got into a couple years ago. Selfish bastard. Should have never... but that's enough of my rambling. Make my way back to Ulda after a short while. You go on ahead and tell Mila that I'm fine. To the guild! Harris, thank the gods you're all right. Heard all about the ambush at the Hammers. Excellent work. Been invaluable to the guild, and I cannot thank you enough. In fact, I believe you deserve a much-needed rest. Take some time for yourself and return when you've recuperated. Before you go, Lulu Alicia has a message for you. Harris, the very gladiator I was seeking. Lean closer, for I would not have the others hear my word. Aldous sends his regard. Request you meet him at the Lich Yard in Eastern Thanolin. Naturally, I have not divulged this information to the First Sword. As you may have gathered from their previous interactions, she's still rather upset with him and would likely forbid any further association. Quite understandable, since he was clearly groomed to become the next guildmaster before the horrible scandal. They would have made such a lovely couple. Forgive me. Hardly an appropriate topic of conversation. Anyway, you have my word that the First Order will not hear of any rendezvous from me. Okay. On our way to Eastern, Paladin. And where have you been? Since you're drowning in some sweet young thing's eyes. If that's the case, I understand complete. It's been 7 years since Mila's father was laid to rest. He was mean and stubborn, and hold all to go through and through. Gods, when he danced with sword in hand, it was pure poetry in motion. Mila's right. No way I could know what it was like for her back then, forced to replace her father under such terrible circumstances. And who might you be? Another of Leovold's lackeys. Master Leovold has been most distressed since learning of your return. This is unacceptable. Your master does not deserve your loyalty, kitten. You've outlived your youthfulness, he'll dispose of you like so many others. Believe me, I speak from personal experience. Say what you will, I will not be swayed. She looks awfully determined to kill me. Still, I'm not really in the mood to play. I'm stopping her, Harris. Here, let's fight her with our wooden fucking sword. Why not? I should I'll be evaluating your performance. Your movements, it's not exactly high literature. And now, indeed. Got her. Gotten stronger. Good. I'm glad Mila has a man like you to rely upon. She's her father's daughter, leader of men, true warrior, and an obstinate woman who lets her feelings cloud her judgment. Which is why she needs to be surrounded by dependable people who will give her good counsel and keep her temper in check. Now more than ever, stick by her. She needs you more than she knows. She needs you, all this. Haven't you listened to a word I said? She needs dependable people. In case you haven't noticed, I'm anything but. I'm only here because of unfinished business. When it's settled, there will be no reason left for me to stay. I owe it to the old man to put an end to it. Give him peace in Thal's realm by making that bastard Leovold finally answer for his crime. Remember what I said, Harris. Now go. She's probably wondering where you are. Back to the gear. Why are you staring like that, Harris? Don't think it matters. You're behaving rather odd. Well, I'm afraid I have no news regarding the Alacran's movement. Remain confident we will find them soon, though, so keep your blade sharp. Yeah. Sure. Damn it all to the seventh hell. This is madness. Aldous, he's been arrested by the Brass Blade. Claimed he was plotting to assassinate the Sultana. The utter nonsense. He has no motive to do so. Whatever I've said about the man, he would never resort to using poison. The Alacran must be behind them. They failed to kill him time and again. Another reaching out to their monetarist allies. I want to believe Wyman when he said they had such influence, but that's it. If anyone can help unravel his plot, it's Wyman. He has a reputation for knowing things he shouldn't, after all. Find Wyman, see what he can tell us. See what he can tell us. Aldous is many things, but he is not a murderer. Alright, I guess we're going to go see Wyman. Once I get to the 8th, alright? He's just outside the 8th. Yep. I was wondering when you might come along, Harris. Frankly, I'm surprised all this went so quietly. You have to know there's no walking away from it. Really don't know, do you? Just as I started at the beginning. All this is something of an enigma. Him and Leopold were the two greatest gladiators to ever grace the bloodline. But he threw all that hard-fought glory away for a few gill moments. See, the average old Don loves a good coliseum. What better way to make a gladiatorial spectacle entertaining than wagering on the outcome? When it got out that Aldous was orchestrating a match-fixing scheme of untold proportions, you can imagine the shock and the anger the people felt. He was expelled from the Coliseum and his wins were stricken from the record. Your guild master Mila got the worst of it, though. Not only was her friend exposed as a fraud, but around the same time her father fell ill and passed away. There were some oddities surrounding his death, too. Rumored he took his own life out of shame for his disgraced pupil. That he might have even been murdered by the man. Baseless conjecture, really, but it made Aldous look that much worse. In the end, Mila lost two of the most important men in her life, and was forced to take charge of the guild alone. And Leopold tried to go it solo on the Bloodsands, but it wasn't the same. Without Aldous, his career was finished. Now, you know the nature of the man you so desperately want to save. But from that look in your eyes, I gather you still have your reservation. Fine then. Can't blame me for doubting a man found in possession of Ralger's vial. There's a vial poison. Rare and expensive, too. Only the Corpse Brigade knows how to make it. I only know why they give it to Aldous. Go to their headquarters at the Sepulchre in South Thanolin and ask them direct, I reckon. I have an aversion to direct confrontation personally, but you don't, do you? By the by, you should save the poor bastard's life. Tell him we're even. And that I hope it was all worth it. And more. Fantastic. Give me the thing. Oh, I got what I'm after. Stop me from just leaving. There we go. Haha! I got your shit, bitch! I'm back. I got the shit. Where have you been, Harris? I kind of passed out about halfway there. Aldous has been given over into the custody of the Sacrarium. We need to execute him. We must do something. This poison, is it? Poison, is it? Proof that the Alacran purchased it from the Corpse Brigade. Thank the gods you've done it. Quickly, we must show this to the official presiding over his execution at Highbridge. Go, now! In Eastern, then. Bahia. Ah, that is the next Red Mage quest. Oh, damn. I don't remember how to get down there. You have to go from the other side. You'd be able to just jump down there. The aquarium has sentenced you to death for your crimes against the Sultanate. Have you any lesson? Huh? Who are you and what do you want? Man is innocent. These are bold accusations you make, adventurer. However, the aquarium has found the prisoner guilty in the eyes of gods and men, and he will be executed forthwith. Don't waste your breath, Harris. Thal's scales have always yielded to wealth above all else. Leovold spent a fortune to secure my sentence. Silence, criminal. And you, what are you waiting for? Do it. Fuck you. Where did that... Aldous! Just couldn't stay away, could you? At least I don't have to steal the headman's axe. The gods are to have blood this day. I'm afraid it won't be mine. Since you two are so devout, perhaps you'd be willing to offer yourselves in exchange. Mercy! It's like, well, that was easy. Interfering with the law is a heinous crime. In fact, I believe it is punishable by death. I had a feeling this spectacle would draw you here. Should have dealt with you myself from the start. Come, let's dance, brother. So it's to be a rematch. Very well, I accept. You and the others need you, Harris. Leave him to me. Look, if you're sure about this. Beat the Alacron. You need to fucking die. You're next. You got me, fucker. Just drop. Yeah, he dropped. them here. To me, cowards. About to fuck yourself. Oh, I never use that friggin' skill. I'm gonna start using it more. Duty complete. You almost had me, Leovold. Stay back. I won't have your pity. You had to have it all, didn't you? One victory. One bloody match. Your precious ego couldn't accept that. You ruined everything. Tell me, Aldous, how does it feel to lose your name, your legacy, everything you've ever loved? I want to know how much you suffered. Let it go, Leovold. It's over. Like hell's it is. I swear, you will never know peace. Not in this life or the next. Yep. Leovold, no! Into the pit. No, damn well neither of us will see Thal's realm. This is the second time a bad guy's just fallen into a pit. Only this time it was intentional. Let's go. Our comrades are waiting. To the guild. glad you were there, Harris. Without you, I doubt we could have defeated the Alacran. Have you ever considered the Colosseum? It'd make a wonderful attraction. Of course, you'd need a title that befits your prowess. Now that it's all over, you'll be staying, won't you? No, Leovold may be dead, but the Alacran are far from finished. I'd rather not linger and give them a chance to regroup and seek revenge. It's a true tragedy that I cannot enjoy the company of Ul'dah's lovely ladies any longer. I have faith that equally radiant beauties await me in distant lands. All this, Another word, my dear. Bad enough that the First Sword has permitted a disgraced gladiator to fraternize with her subordinate. You imagine the scandal if she became personally involved with the man. Nevertheless, I understand how you feel, Mila. I'm known to have this effect on the fairer sex. Should let the headsman have his way with you. That way you might learn something of humility. But how am I supposed to remember the lesson without a head? Father would be proud of you, Mila. Don't ever change. Yes, there's one more thing I wanted to say to you before I go, Harris. 7 years ago, before my last match on the Bloodstain, I was given an offer. Sultan's ransom in exchange for a lot. Leovold begged and pleaded, but I just couldn't do it. Call it honor, or pride, or whatever you like. I made my choice. Despite all that came of it, to this day, I have no regrets. It's a simple thing to know what's right. Listen to that heart of yours, and it will never lead you astray. Trust in your comrades, have faith in your skills, and you will triumph over any adversity. And with that, I bid you all farewell. Better not have to wait 7 years to see that bastard again. Still so much I want to... What in the seven hells are you all looking at? This is a training hall. Why aren't you all training right now? Like, alright, get back to work, fuckers. Think all it takes to stand on the bloodsands is a sword and a stupid grin? No, it takes years of hard work, an ocean of blood and sweat, and an unspeakable will. Every man and woman here has the potential to become a champion, but it is you, you alone, who decides your destiny. So answer me now, gladiators. You'll follow in the footsteps of your brothers and sisters and inscribe your names in legend? Aye! Well, this was a level 30 quest, holy shit. Did I skip one? Must have been really out of it, holy shit. Alright, that is the level 30 Paladin quest. Final Fantasy XIV Paladin intro quest. Let's go. Person? Oh, there you are, Harris. Perfect timing. Just heard a juicy bit of gossip that I know you're going to be interested in. Apparently, remember, you heard this first from me. Sultan Sworn Elite are sharing the secret skills and trainings of paladins. Incredible, I know. Sultan Sworn have an exclusive monopoly on the instructions of paladin skills. Once upon a time, if you weren't one of those officer track elites, then you had no chance to learn the arts. Competition to get to the top was very fierce indeed, let me tell you. Anyone who joined had to swear an oath of fealty to the Ul'dah Sultanate, which meant no more adventuring, no more daring do, no more Colosseum, just languishing about in the palace all day polishing plate. This news is so big, now anyone with a bit of commitment can learn the skills of a paladin. No memorizing the 55 commandments of the Sworn or any other nonsense either. It's a platinum opportunity that comes but once in a lucky adventurer's lifetime. Just slip through your fingers and it will be your just desserts. You need to go to the Royal Promenade in the Hustings Strip. And the captain of the Sultan Sworn Elite, Genlins is his name, and tell him how you're just dying to become a paladin. What's a paladin? I will never be able to get that clip out of my fucking head. Okay. I remember correctly. Yep. Hello, I'd like to be a paladin, please. Yes, I am Genlins. Member of the Sultan Sworn Elite and servant to the Ul'dah Sultanate. Unless my instincts deceive me, you have come to inquire about training as a paladin. If so, I would have your name, good sir. Harris? A fine name. bid you welcome and salute your noble resolve. But if you aspire to paladinhood, you should understand what it means. Paladin swears allegiance to the Sultanate. Paladin shall be the sword and shield of the Sultanate. Paladin defends the people of the realm. Sellswords and gladiators and others of their ilk wield their blades for themselves. The Paladin serves the greater good. Do you understand me? Battle arts that the Paladin learns have been held secret, nurtured, and perfected within the ranks of the Sultan's sworn elite for nigh on these 600 years. All those sworn to protect the Sultanate, the soldiers, the mounted guards, and the knights, we are the elite of the elite. Our conviction unwavering, our hearts true, our sword skills without peer. The glory of the Sultan sworn. Much of it is buried in the past now. Brotherhood grows smaller by the year. We are a shadow of what we once were, and the Sultanate turns to sellswords to defend her palace. All this because of one traitor. No, because of a blot of dishonor left by one who shall not be named. Because of him, we have been forced to seek the help of able-bodied adventurers. And here you are. I shall instruct you in the Paladin military arts. You will not be inducted into the Sultan's sworn, but serve as a free Paladin. However, first you will show us that both your sword and heart have metal. You are worthy of the honor. In the ruins to the south of Little Alamico, you will find an iron brazier. Light it, and the undead nearby will be drawn to the flame. Slay these monsters and give their hearts to the fire. Return and present to me their ashes as proof of your deed. Now, would-be Paladin, show me the metal in your heart and steal in your blade. Except my sword is full of rocks. And wood. At least I'm assuming. That ain't your typical sword, that's for fucking sure. I believe the area I'm looking for is right outside Little Alameda. Alright, bring it, fuckers. And there we go. If you're in this place searching for the undead, then you must be a petitioner seeking the secrets of the Paladin arts. Make no mistake, simply learning Paladin swordplay does not make you a Paladin, nor does the armor you wear or the status you claim. I'm just another aging free Paladin, but you would do well to heed my counsel. Strike off the shackles that bind your spirit, lift the visor that blinds, and find the true path of the Paladin. Here, you'll be returning to the captain, yes? Give him this crystal. Guy seems kind of sus. The way you use that sword reminds me of a man I used to know. Mine eyes may be old, but they can see the truth well enough. Be a paladin strong and true. Put yourself to the way and become a beacon of light. See ya. Alright, back to Genlin we go. That roof. I have returned. Yes, that's what I needed. Proof that you've defeated the undead. You have shown that your heart is true and your sword has metal. I've no doubt that you'll prove to be an attentive pupil as well, for there's much to learn. First and foremost is this. You are a paladin now, custodian of traditions ancient and noble. A free paladin has no master, and he travels all lands and in every place takes up the cause, the unarmed and defenseless. Swear fealty not to a lord, but to yourself. You are nobility amongst adventurers. Taking your first step on a new path, and you have earned the right to bear this, Soul of the Paladin. On its surface are carved the deeds of paladins of eras past. He who bears it commands the respect of all knights of honor. Comet's Fang, were to possess a crystal? You say it was given to you by an unknown free paladin, who told you to hand it to me. Where is this crystal of which you speak? Demand you show it to me at once. Here you go. It's him. Made a mockery of the trial. The crystal you bear is indeed the soul of the paladin. It is disgraced, impure. It was stolen from the Sultan's sworn. The man who gave you this soul is the very traitor whom I have been seeking these many moons. He's an oath breaker who bent the knee to the Uldan Sultanate and who swore allegiance to the Sultan's sworn, but then single-handedly sullied our name, trampled it underfoot until it was lost, perhaps forever. How dare he give counsel on honor, the paladin way? The soul is polluted, and I must dispose of it. When you come to wield your sword as a paladin, the only soul you may wear is that which is bestowed by a captain of the Sultan's sworn. A traitor is no Sultan's sworn, still less a captain. Giving you a soul, he insulted not only the Brotherhood, but you too. Perhaps an adventurer like yourself finds our rules nothing more than a nuisance. But through reigns long and short, our forebears in the Sultan's sworn have preserved its rituals and traditions. We are duty-bound to uphold them, even if men and women within our own ranks scorn them as relics. It has been my fate to be named captain of the Sultan's sworn in these troubled times. Though I did not ask for this honor, I bent my knee to the Sultana and swore fealty, and I will fight to restore our honor and name. Wield a skilled blade. More importantly, you have met the traitor face to face. Your great task as a paladin will be to help me bring him to justice. You must ready yourself, marshal your resources, and hone your skills until the time comes when you are able to discharge your duty. The journey will be long, but you are a paladin, and honor binds you as surely as an oath. Yay! Paladin unlocked. Heck yeah. Recording. Okay, recording Paladin Quest level 35, Honor Lost. You have earned the right to call yourself a paladin. How do others treat you? Do they recognize you for what you are? Remember that fancy swordplay and well-polished armor do not make you a paladin. You must be just in your heart and strive to always be an exemplar of true virtue. Once, not so long ago, the Sultan's sworn could walk the streets with their heads held high. When they marched by, the small folk would look upon them with reverence and gratitude. No one was more respected than the captain, their predecessor. When I first saw him, I was still a child. Father had promised to take me to a local festival. Somewhere he took a wrong turn, became lost and stumbled into a secluded back alley. Luck was not with us because the next moment we found ourselves in the middle of a riot. Drunken hunters were firing arrows into the crowd. We were caught between them. With no way out. It was only a matter of time before we would be struck. So when the captain saved us from our plight, never seen a sword move so swiftly. It flashed faster than my eyes could follow. In seconds, the hunters were on the ground or fleeing for their lives. The captain was gone down the street, slicing at their heels before my father had time to thank him. Even today, I can see the captain as he was then. Blood on his sword, armor impossibly bright in the sun. After that, all I ever wanted to be was a paladin. I practiced endlessly with my sword, dreaming of bandits defeated and monsters slain. Even after I became one of the Sultan's sworn, the memory of the captain still inspired me. I was always the first to arrive in the training yard and the last to leave. So the years passed, and before I knew it, I found myself named captain of the Sultan's sworn. Yet the triumph was hollow, because by then the honor of the Sultan's sworn elite, the very thing that had drawn me to the Brotherhood, was a mere vestige, the discarded banner of a defeated foe. There were many reasons for the fall, the loss of Oathkeeper. Yes, that was the mortal blow. The sword Oathkeeper was bestowed upon the first captain of the Sultansworn by the then Sultan of Ul'dah. In time, it became our standard, symbol of the oaths we had sworn, and it was treasured by each new captain for generations. Possession was proof of Sultan-sworn command. Then the unthinkable came to pass. Oathkeeper was stolen by the traitor. It shook our brotherhood to the core. How can we be trusted to protect the Sultana if we cannot even hold on to the symbol of our fealty? We have been tarnished in the eyes of ruler and ruled alike. Sultan-sworn are to survive, we must find the traitor and recover Oathkeeper. The Sultan-sworn have grown too weak. We cannot do it ourselves. We've been forced to recruit outsiders to help us in our cause. I have high hopes for you, my friend. Great thing that we ask. You must learn more of our secrets if you are to succeed. In outer Lenosha, near the Hermit's Hovel, is a grove where ringtails congregate. Pitting yourself against a host of the beasts would be a fine way to hone the skills that I will teach you. In the grove, you will find another brazier. This time filled with a potent incense that will drive creatures into a frenzy. Beat your attackers and return to me. Alright. Outer Lenosha. Boop. I can do this without my choke. Fantastic. So attacking from a distance. Okay. Last thing I want to do is an AoE attack right now. Involving my enemies then is necessary. Alright. And back to the dude. Rip. Well done. You've taken the skills I taught you and made them your own. Still do not have word of where the traitor is hiding, but I will inform you the moment I do. Till then, continue your trade. Quest complete. Baby, baby. Recording Paladin Quest Level 40, Power Struggles. Welcome, Paladin. You should know that word of your deeds has reached me. Few are those who follow the true Paladin path without misstep, but you are one of them. I am proud to call you brother. You have kept the faith, and in return I must have faith in you. It's time that you knew the truth. Though it is hard to share, for it is a shame I'd rather keep hidden from outsiders. Perhaps you remember when I told you of the traitor and the sword Oathkeeper that he stole. His name is Sulk Zagel. He was my predecessor as captain of the Sultan-sworn elite. Yes, he is the same man whom I had admired as a child. He inspired me to take up the sword and follow the way of the Paladin, with the paragon of paladins, until, that is, he changed. Some years ago now, there was a struggle for influence between the Sultanate military and a faction within the syndicate known as the Monetarists. The latter emerged triumphant, and the army's authority was diminished dramatically. Though Sulk Zagel was still captain of the Sultan-sworn elite, he knew his position was perilous, so he fled, taking Oathkeeper with him. In doing so, he went against the words that he had spoken on bended knee before his royal liege. All it falls to me, as captain, to restore the honor and name of the Sultan's Sworn. That means cutting down my former mentor and master. I would do it gladly, for his misdeed cannot be forgiven. But his death will not lift the stain that mars our name. He must be put on trial in public court, so that everyone knows his crimes. Then and only then can we begin to earn the people's trust again. He served for over 30 years as captain of the Sultan's Sworn elite, and he is a formidable foe. Few can match his skill with the sword. Even together, you and I will find it difficult to take him alive without mortal harm to one side or the other. You must continue to hone your skills and prepare for the day when we will face him. To complete the next stage of your training, you must do this. Go to the Ugram River in eastern Thanalan. Find the brazier we have placed there. By lighting it, you will draw the ire of the Lepidoths dwelling within the waters. Face the creatures in battle and master your new skills. Fight will not be easy, but if you take to heart what you have learned and let the crystal be your guide, you will triumph. Is it Eastern? Yep, Eastern. Polar bear. Is it inside the thing? It's inside the thing. Or it's right here.
Yeah.
Both of you come over here. Next. Next. And back we go. Good. You've mastered your new skills and made them your own. Much work remains to be done before you can face the traitor Zagel. We're close to finding him, and as our net draws tighter, it grows ever more important that we make ready for the moment when the fish must at last be landed. Bing, bing. Prominence. The other part of our AoE combo. Recording, Paladin Quest level 45, Poisoned Hearts. Welcome, friend. I have important news for you. In my search for the traitor, I've been looking through old records and discovered something chilling. Around the time the traitor Zagel was named captain, several famed soldiers of the Sultan's Sworn met with untimely deaths. Strangely, our records do not say how they died. Curious, I begged the favor of an old friend and received permission to inspect medical records kept by Frondale's Frontistry. Yeah. Discovered that the soldiers died in various ways. In combat, some suddenly at night, in the barracks. But in nearly every case, there were signs that poison had played a role in their demise. Yes, poison. Carefully, invisibly administered. The more I read, the more I saw the dark hand of death's embrace over it. Assassins and the paying servers of the monetarists. Society so secretive that few believe it truly exists. No matter how skilled and devious the assassins, they should not have been able to kill so many of the Sultansworn elite without being discovered. Not, that is, without help from within our own ranks. So I asked myself, who had the most to gain from their deaths? One by one, the former captain, his trusted aides, the most capable of the Sultansworn who might become future commanders. All of them slain by an invisible hand. And with their deaths, the way was open for Solgzagel to become the Sultansworn's youngest captain in a century. The monetarists were plotting to kill the best and bravest of the Sultansworn, purge its ranks of greatness, and enervate it so that it could no longer carry out its duty to serve as sword and shield of the Sultanate. Which begs the question, how did Solgzagel remain captain for 30 long years? How did he avoid the poisoner's kiss when men better than him had succumbed? There can only be one explanation. It was the monetarist's cat's paw, turncloak in our midst. Needless to say, I am more determined to track him down than ever before. While I continue my investigation, I have a trial for you. I want you to seek the gallant armor, legendary raiments worn by generations of the finest soldiers of the Sultansworn. In accordance with Sultansworn tradition, the set that would be yours has been scattered across southern Thanalan. Each piece has been locked within a coffer, which will be guarded by 2 men. You must best the Sultansworn themselves if you are to claim their armor. Oh boy. It's gonna take a bit. Now for you. Doop. Jump down here. Wait for a second. 5. Okay. Next pair. And bam. Yep. Yes. Squire. This one. Bam. The coffer. And the other one is right over here. Yes, there you are. Boop. And back we go. Good. The armor is yours. You've learned your lessons well and honed your skills. Now you're ready to face Solkzagel the traitor. Yes, the time has come. I've discovered his hiding place and made contact through emissaries. You're negotiating the return of Oathkeeper. Secrecy is crucial, as is preparation. We'll leave only when you are ready. Beep. Recording Paladin Quest level 45, Parlay in the Sigoli. Recovery of Oathkeeper will be the first step in restoring the honor of the Sultan Sworn. They have told Solkzagel that if he returns the sword, we will give him a fair trial. Otherwise, he shall be captured and thrown at the feet of the Sultana for judgment. Parlay should take place south of Forgotten Springs in the Sigoli Desert. Give me your map and I will mark the location. When I believe he is acting alone, he must be prepared for anything. You may be certain that the Monitors will not take kindly to his surrender. In fact, I believe that should the Monitors discover Solkzagel is willing to parlay, they will surely try to intervene. Therefore, we must not speak of what we do, not to anyone. We should travel separately so as not to attract attention. We shall meet again at the parlay. Away we go. Oh boy, solo instance. Sword. You dare to come. You're a brazen one, grant you that. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Come, confess. The allies within the Sultan's Sworn have told me the truth. I know you are working in league with the traitor and the Monitarists. Confess. With your dying breath, you will tell me where I can find Oathkeeper and the traitor who stole it. You dare accuse my own Sultan Sworn of lying? Your comrades in arms, any one of them. Every one of us, bound in brotherhood by our oath. I would trust them with my life. What is your word when set against theirs? We know the meaning of honor. You're a naive fool. I suspected you from the beginning, ever since you showed me the soul of the Paladin that traitor Solkzagel gave you. You were, no matter how briefly, a Paladin, and as such you are bound by a code of honor that is as unforgiving as it is noble. Traitor! Sentence you to death. Decree that your body shall lie here and feed the crows. Well. You cannot do this. I am the greater swordsman. You're superior in every way. You were blinded, Jinlins, by your own conviction. Jinlins, remember your own lesson. Paladin does not exist to defend his position or the honor of his fellow Sultan Sworn. Those men were assassins in service to the monetarists. The moment you outlived your usefulness, you were to be killed. You and this free paladin of yours. Liar! You are their agent. You betrayed us for them. You were always naive, gentlings. Too willing to trust your fellow men. It's one of your virtues. You have a deplorable habit of turning your virtues into vices. Think. The information you uncovered. How did you come by it? Did it fall into your lap as if, oh, I don't know, someone was feeding it to you for their own purposes? You and the paladins under your command are the monetarist lapdogs. Gentlings, you've been led a merry dance and followed their lead at every step. Then, you were never a traitor? You were innocent? I have wronged you. Then he passes out. Easy now. Your wounds aren't mortal, but you still need to rest. I'll take care of the captain. He's had worse, and we'll have him back on his feet soon enough. Become a fine warrior, and learned all there is to know about the wail of the Paladin. I think perhaps that you are not aware of just how much you've grown. Well, it's just time you were made aware, Paladin. When the captain's recovered, keep an eye on him for me, will you? He needs someone like you to watch his back. Can do, strange man. Now back to Ulda. And that is where it should be. Seems to be. Paladin, I have done you a great wrong. I allowed myself to be hoodwinked, accused you of treason, and even turned my sword against you. I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me. As for me, yes, I am recovered from my wounds. At least those that will heal. Far more important than that, so Xagal is innocent after all. Never a traitor, and the dream that I followed in my youth was not a lie. I remain captain of the elite, although a poor substitute for my predecessor. I am now working on a plan to strike back at the monetarists and restore the Sultansworn to its former strength. No, do not be afraid for me. I've unmasked the foe and he cannot hide behind his deceptions anymore. The assassins won't find it easy to reach me. For now, I will bide my time, marshal my strength, and when the time is ripe, strike hard at our enemies. Action learned. Cover. Alright, recording Paladin level 50 quest, Keeping the Oath. Welcome, Paladin. I'd hoped to see you before I left. You remained a true friend, even after all the wrongs I did to you, and I owe you my trust. So I will tell you everything I have learned. After our encounter in the hills, I spent some time in the care of Xagal, recovering from my wounds. The convalesced, he gave me the true account of what happened these last few years in his solitary war against the monetarists. After he went into hiding, he tried to get word to me about what was happening, but I was surrounded by agents in the pay of the monetarists who kept me isolated and ignorant. They planted the lie that Xagal was a traitor and tricked me into tracking him down. I was their puppet, twitching obediently at the end of the strings they pulled. When I discovered that Death's Embrace had been behind the demise of my brothers and sisters, they panicked, especially when they found out I had shared the information with you. They set a trap for us and baited it with the promise of a parley with Xagal. Xagal was no traitor, as I should well have known. I allowed myself to be deceived by the whispers of mummers and flatterers, and no, that was not the way of it. It was not their lies that made me blind, but my desire, nay, obsession, to restore our honor. For the Sultansworn and all paladins who have bent the knee to a higher cause, honor is a means to an end, not the end itself. I lost sight of that, and in doing so, lost sight of my true duty. Though Zegel understood what was happening, that is why he gave you the soul of the Paladin. It was a remonstration, a message. Look how adventurers live, he was telling me. Where does their honor, their authority come from? I owe my position to the machinations of the monetarists. Calculated that a young captain eager to prove his loyalty, and by unquestioning fealty, would be all the easier to control. They were right. I am a sham and a fake. But the world does not know that, and even the illusion of power is a power of sorts. I can use it to fight back. Tell my subordinates that I am fleeing to Snowcloak in Kurth. When the monetarists hear of this, they surely will, they will send assassins after me again. When they show their hand, I will stand my ground and fight back. I realize you may wish to offer your assistance. However, I cannot in good conscience put you in harm's way anymore. You too have become a target of the Cabal's assassins. Odds will be against me, that much is certain. So Zegel has taught me much. I am brave and vigilant, I know I can triumph. I'm sorry you have been caught up in your own political struggles, but now, as a paladin, it is time you traveled your own path. Ah yes, so Zegel wished to have a word with you as well. You'll find him in Central Thanel. Allow me to mark the location on your map. Central Thaneland. What happens to be in this little area right here? A nice little out-of-the-way area. Thank you for coming, Harris. You haven't much time, so I'll be blunt. Genlins will die if he faces death's embrace alone. I know what I must do, and I suspect you do as well. If you are the man I believe you to be, then we shall meet again soon. Gotta go over to Snow Club. Back to Curtis. Here we go. Whole thing in an armament. You as well? Told you to go to ground. This isn't your fight. First Silk Zagel and now you. You both so eager to die. Forget that we are paladins. Wheresoever our duty leads us, we go. And do so of our own free will. To abide by one's own sense of justice is to embrace the paladin's creed. Sworn or unsworn, we are paladins true. The only true oath we swear is the one we swear to ourselves. Now come, let us stand shoulder to shoulder and show the Blackhearts the metal of our souls and the steel of our swords. Should actually be kind of badass on my main. Alright, time to take down these two fuckers. First. For the big guy. Surely the Monitors would go to greater lengths than this. Red light could very well be a trap. Where could he be? Glowing grimoire. What sorcery is this? Likely the work of our mage. Pulses with a queer light. Let's embrace master. Is that trap? And fake. Oh, one more. There we go. Duty complete. You've done well. Never flinch from your duty. Follow the path you knew you had to take, and you showed us what it means to be a paladin. You even managed to prize the scales from Genlin's eyes while you were at it. Been an honor to know you and watch you grow. In any case, today's battle should blunt the Monitor's stagger, at least for a while. We'll think twice before sending assassins after the Sultan's sworn again. Trust you will see to this mess, Genlins? Yes, sir. Captain. Please, sir, return to the capital. Take up your command again. The burden. It is too much for the likes of me. Monitors may have stolen Oathkeeper, but oaths are not forged in steel. They're sworn in the heart. You never betrayed your oaths, gentlemen. As for your leadership, I'll ask this paladin if he learned anything from you. No matter what the circumstances, once a man has left the Sultan Sworn, he cannot return. No, I followed my own path, and on it I will stay. I followed you since the day I vowed to join the ranks of the Sultan Sworn. Will the time come for me to stop following and begin to lead? Just waves. Thank you for coming. Once again, you have placed me in your debt. See me in the city when you return. I will have something for you. Back we go. Chamber of Rule. Welcome, Paladin. These have been troubled times for the Sultan Sworn, and you have served us loyally. You did what was just, followed the Paladin way, and defended the weak and needy. You were a true oath. Honor and right were yours from the very beginning. That is what made you strong enough to defeat me. Sword Oathkeeper has yet to be found, but I have come to realize that I do not need it. Nay, not to lead the Sultan Sworn, nor to restore our good name. The oaths we keep in our hearts, not in hallowed blades, are in our hearts. So Xagal has left to wander the nations of Eorzea. A man of honor, and unless I am very much mistaken, he will continue to look for the sword that was gifted by our ruler centuries ago. I shall continue to serve Ul'dah as one of the Sultan's Sworn. I shall defend the people of Eorzea as a free paladin. Paths diverge now, but we shall forever be bound by the oaths we keep in our hearts. But listen to me. Noble words aren't much good to an adventurer who has to face monsters and menaces out in the real world. Fortunately, I have something that will serve you rather better. Sacred armor has been kept within the Sultan Sworn for many generations. It's given only to those Sultan Sworn who had, through feats of arms and deeds of great courage, earned the privilege to wear it. Something tells me that for the first time since it left the armorer's forge, this armor should go to someone who is not of the Sultan Sworn. If I allowed myself to be a slave to tradition, the paladin who deserves it most would never wear it. Now, wouldn't that be a waste of fine plate? Just one thing. If anyone asks where you got it, you mustn't say it was me. Sure thing, buddy. Hallowed Ground. This concludes the Paladin quest for Final Fantasy XIV at Realm Reborn. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. You must have completed the main scenario quest before the dawn. If you have done so, the next Paladin quest would be available from Genlands.